Oh, we have plenty of windows. They're sitting over there. All right, welcome to the April 11th, 2022 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. We'll open it up. We have 3 appeals. I'm going to change up the order. I'll take Keith Porter first, Frontier Property second, and we will hear James Rock, 10 Riverside Ave last. Main reason is I think the first 2 are going to go a little more quickly. They're a lot simpler, get them done, and then get into Mr. Rock. So, Mr. Porter, we have to do a stand at a podium. We can't sit. You can stay seated. Kelly is abstaining from this because she has some involvement, shall we say. Leave it at that. So what are you looking at doing?
I wanted to put a deck on the side of the house that faces the river. It's something I wanted to do since I've been there, and the neighbors pick on me, telling me that I have the deck on the wrong side of the house because they do have one that faces the garage. But, that's a little bit dilapidated, but I've been wanting to do something that's like a 3-season kind of thing, because I also, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I think it would add a lot of value to the place and appeal.
Okay. And the issue is because your lot is so shallow.
Correct.
Okay. Looking at how large a deck you putting in there?
It was going to be width of the house, it'd be 12 feet and then come out 16, but not be fully covered, just 12 feet of it being covered. And then there's going to be an open section.
Okay.
After that.
And according to the sketch here, you aren't going any closer to the street than the house is?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Be back. Actually, I'll be back. That's the same side of the house. If Joe would stop by and take some pictures, but I'm not going any further than where the meter can is on the side of the house. Yeah. Basically, it's just going to encompass the 2 windows in the door.
Okay. And that's why it's located where it's at.
Right.
Being closer to the street rather than moving it back. We've already got something.
And then from that side of the house, it's still a good 150 feet down to the water.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments? Well, let me open up to the audience for public comment. Anybody have any comments? Public comment? No? Okay. That's right, you're in the
Because
audience. Yes, you're on the other side.
Yes, so I live on Waterhouse Street, which is a block around the corner. And I just want to say that based on where it's going on the west side of the house as opposed to the roadside or the walk bridge side, that I am not opposed to this. I think that it would be an improvement.
Okay. Duly noted. Anyone else? All right, I'll close the public comment period. The short environmental assessment form, as usual, number 2 needs to be checked yes. Yeah. Everything else was pretty. Number 5, permitted use under zoning, yes. Consistent with the comprehensive plan, yes. 5A and B. 6.
That's an older picture, isn't it? Because that deck has a round object on it, and I've never had a round object on it. It's lived there.
They don't get updated anymore. so-
Okay, gotcha. All right.
How long have you owned the place?
Since the June of 16.
Oh, okay,
That's the price one.
Okay.
okay. Number 6, proposed action consistent with economic character, yes. And 9, meter exceed energy code really doesn't apply, but yes. And I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that the chair fill out the small environmental assessment form and check no or small impact may occur on questions 1 through 11 and sign.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then on to a motion in regards to his covered deck. And I would like to have it as shown in the drawings or something to that effect.
I make a motion to approve appeal number 3213, the request for a class B area variance to build a covered porch and front yard setback as shown in the drawings.
Second, PJ. All right. The yes vote is to approve. You got 4 yes votes. You're good to go.
Very good.
See them for a building permit.
I'm dismissed.
You are dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good night.
All right. Next up is Frontier Property Management. And you are,
Dean Lashway,
hello?
the applicant's representative.
Okay, and I forgot to mention it for Mr. Porter, but I didn't figure it was an issue. We only have, no, with you, we have all 5. So you're not, no problem. Okay. I was supposed to tell Dean that we only had 4 out of 5, and he could postpone if he wanted to. I think they called you beforehand, so you were aware of it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't bring it up when we were here. Okay, exactly what are you doing here?
All right. The property located north of Brinkerhoff Street, east of Marion Street, and South Protection Avenue currently exists 3 parcels. One of the parcels fronts on Brinkerhoff, Marion, and then also on Protection. A second parcel at the corner of Protection and Marion, and a third parcel is on the south side of Protection, just west of a parcel owned by the city. The applicant is requesting from the ZBA with the subdivision review process that started at the planning board, we've submitted a sketch plan. And with that sketch plan, we are looking to create two lots. One of which will be the original bank building at the corner of Marion and Brinkerhoff Street. The second parcel will be the remaining lands of the bank building lot, plus merging of the two lots of protection that exist as separate tax map parcels. A request that was made by the planning board. With the creation of the bank building lot, this lot will be deficient of an average depth by about 2 feet. We have the required area and the other setback requirements. It is the lot depth that is deficient. It is that deficiency that we request the area variance. This lot that we're proposing to create will be marketed and sold. The balance of property and with the mergers will be the parking lot located between the bank building and Protection Avenue. A lot that the applicant is retained.
Can you show us a visual of this so that I can get a sense of what you're talking about? Do you have more pictures?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at that print that they drew.
Basically, lot one would be the bank building.
Mhm.
It is an actual outline of the bank, its building itself. Lot two is the balance of the property. Lot one and lot two currently exist as one tax map parcel. The tax map parcel 207.74-2-23 exists as a separate tax lot, although it is in the title deed, including the title deed for lots 1 and 2. And tax map parcel 207.74-2-21 is a separate parcel by a separate deed. Okay. So we're looking to create lot one, the bank building lot, I'll refer to as, and the balance of property lot two, we merge with parcel 23 and parcel 21 to make one lot, which will meet the zoning requirements.
So the only piece, once you've separated and then merged into two, the only piece that is deficient is the part with the bank in the corner.
Actually, that lot existed as a lot by itself. And that is made up of a number of different parcels. These date back to the 1800s. Actually, lot one, there were two lots on Brinkerhoff Street. Went back to the south line of Gold Street. If you were to extend that to Marion Street, that would be the back side of those lots. There was a second parcel that ran from Marion Street back to this line here, where you see the 23 feet. Those were separate lots that eventually came into one ownership. Bank was established, they acquired those two lots, creating a bank building lot. They eventually purchased additional lands, which would be lands in lot two. That again eventually merged into one deed and eventually purchased parcel 23, which came into the same current title deed. The bank people also purchased lot 21, but it remained as a separate lot. Proposed to request the zoning board for approval of lot line. There is a updated map, a separate map, there was a detailed plan that was submitted. And I thought that was included with the application with CBA, but I know went to the planning board. And it provides more detail as far as distances.
What is where the bank lot is, does the bank actually wrap around onto along Gold Street, or is that open space back there?
Yes, they do. In reality, I know the tax map has it shown Gold Street coming off from Brinkerhoff Street, wrapping around the back side of the lots.
Yeah,
Reality that it exists. There was only ever, on a 1826 map, when there was a subdivision, on the north side of Brinkerhoff Street, there were no lots, they went back a certain distance. Then there was a 3-foot alleyway. And then there were 2 additional lots as part of that subdivision. So currently the tax map people have shown is not correct. This is the final map that has been submitted to the planning board for detailed preliminary final review. Part of Gold Street is actually owned by the bank. Parcel, now Frontier Property Management. But yet, part of that on the western side, which you see in the sketch plan as Gold Street, part of the western portion of that is subject to the rights of the landowner along Brinkerhoff Street.
I was gonna ask that question of Joe, or of Kyle. Is there any parking requirements required of the bank? Although that's a separate lot right now, isn't it?
Bank building?
Yeah.
We're going to create that.
Oh, okay.
No, there want to be anywhere.
There isn't?
It's a central business district. So there's no parking requirements.
There will be parking. As part of the planning board's request, they asked for proposed deeds for the conveyance of these parcels. And in that proposed deed, there is a grant to the lot 1, the bank building parcel, a grant of, they would have parking spaces within the existing parking lot.
Okay.
So that was one of the questions I had was the agreement with the bank, and wasn't there also, it could be defunct by now, an agreement with the Presbyterian Church across the street for that lot?
There's a in-kind jest that the current owner, Frontier Management, has made to them where if it's available, you can use it. But there's nothing, there's no conveyance to that. Actually, he's the applicant is keeping the lot 2. If you scroll back to that more detailed preliminary plan review. There. Lot 2, which is the merging of the other 2 parcels, which is requested by the city planning board. We've tried to show how many parking stalls were there in that particular parcel. He has, the applicant has rental units that are in this area that also use the parking area. He also has additional lands to the along Market Street that they also use this. Not so much the clientele of those parcels, but the owners of the shops, or businesses use this for their employee parking lots. So, but he has, and he did tell me that, he did tell the church that if you find a need where you need parking stalls, you're more than welcome to use what is available. But there's nothing right. We actually had to go, as part of the question of the planning board, is to research how is this parcel encumbered by easements for use of the parking stalls. There are easements where along through here, this crosshatch here, which is an easement that's held by this owner. There is a 3-foot alleyway, even though it's physically, there's more there, there is a not 3-foot alleyway. Nothing ever comes into any of these deeds indicates that anybody has a right to that, people are using. Even this land over here, for parcel 16, there be clearly describes property that's conveyed, which includes lands to the north side of that 3-foot alleyway, which tax will have as Gold Street. Gold Street, that's what it says. Gold Street only existed here up to, as you can see, the configuration of that short.
So I understand what you're looking for, and I'm just wanting to clarify the use of the parking lot isn't really going to change. It's just the ownership is changing for that bigger portion. Is there an intention to do anything different with that parking lot?
There's no changes proposed to the parking lot. The ownership is being held by Frontier. It is just the bank building, lot 1, that we're proposing to create a sale, a lot for sale. But they will have access to the parking lot by an easement that will be included in the deed conveyance to them.
So right now with the bank is part of the parking lot on that.
Right now, it is.
Okay.
The bank building, yeah, it's kind of a, it runs up to the dash line and turns, and then continues east to the next dash line, and then goes north to section out.
Okay.
And the deficiency is on the north side of lot 1, just going into the parking lot.
It's the depth of lot 1.
Right, so you can't, you're saying keep it right at the building, you can't bring it 2 feet into the parking lot to meet the requirements for the lot?
Then we're to a second deficiency for the setback, either at 0 lot line or it's 12 foot.
Gotcha.
And just out of curiosity, why do you want to do this?
He wants
They want to sell the bank.
sell
Right. Okay, and you're just looking to keep the parking, just to keep it for future use? You're trying to add that
has-
onto your,
He has other rental units, he has businesses that utilize, actually, from what I understand, even the city is using, you see, downtown, PD
PUD,
had.
or I'm sorry, overlay.
CDPD has a satellite station. They're utilizing some of those parking stalls.
Lisa, nobody objected to this.
There was no comments, no. Okay, any other questions from the board? Is there anyone in the public, in the audience that wants to speak on it? No? I will close the public comment portion and go on to the seeker.
I was gonna say that.
Okay.
Oh.
So we don't need to do one.
Okay.
Correct? If planning board did a seeker, do we need to do one?
Question, I don't know that.
Just do it.
Just read them.
Just do it.
Safety side.
I'm gonna say yes.
There was a secret submitted. I don't know that we've only gone through sketch plan review. We've gone through detail.
So then yes.
So
Then we need to review it. It's smack in the middle.
Yeah,
Although,
Missing the last.
I don't,
On page 2, or,
all we got was like a page of it.
that's the only.
Based on completion update.
Yeah.
Oh, is the rest of it? Do you have the rest of it?
That's the only page I have.
Oh, I have 5.
Yeah. 2 of 3.
Oh, that's 2 of this.
See what stacks if possible. No, it just came through.
Okay. Proceed unless you have a copy of the seeker.
as far as the part 2. I have part 1, page 1 through 3.
You do?
1 through 3?
Oh, you got it?
You have page 1 through 3.
Part 1 through 3 is right.
Is that what we're missing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Part 2, there's the part that the city would be filling out is,
Well, that's
Part one is fine, yeah.
easily dealt with. If
Yep.
we've got.
And then I'll hand it to you.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Questions unanswered, but really don't apply to this.
So I'll make a motion, after review of the short environmental assessment form for appeal 2014, that we find that there is little to no environmental impact with this project. And the chair of the zoning board can mark in questions 1 through 11, part 2, that there are little to no environmental impact.
And
Just
part 3.
one thing,
And part 3.
on the I'm blanking on the term, but on the agenda it says 2314, and on the actual request it says 2014. I don't know what the correct appeal number would be.
2, 3.
2314.
It's 23,
Okay,
okay.
so amend that in my.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Yeah. And I'll entertain a motion for appeal 2314.
I make a motion to approve appeal number 2314 for a Class B area variance request for a 2% reduction of lot depth.
Second by Kelly.
even a bank right now?
No.
Is it anything?
You
Must be the arts center, right?
Empty for, yeah, it's empty
I
for.
don't know that-
You have 5 yes votes. You're
few
good.
Appreciate
years.
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Here, did you want your?
Yeah.
Yeah, the art center was the last thing I was there.
It's beautiful. Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if they made like a venue out of it.
Okay.
Like shows in there.
I know someone wanted to turn it into a bar, but they
The
should.
roof alone was $600,000 or there.
Okay, last one is James R. Rock, 10 Riverside Ave, special use permit. Come right on up. And Kelly recused herself. She lives within 500 feet, and our rules kind of say if you're within 500 feet, you shouldn't be on it. This does apply to you, so we only have 4 board members. It is a 5-member board. If you feel you do not want us to vote on it, you're welcome to say at any time and wait for another meeting where there is a 5th person. One person is absent who would be able to vote on it, but she was not able to make it today. Okay?
Yep.
So we've got your application. Things are a little sketchy in it as to exactly what you're doing. So if you would, let us know.
Well, the main purpose is to dispatch tow trucks out of there for towing in the city and the town of Plattsburgh.
Okay?
Just light mechanical work, like brake jobs,
On your vehicles,
customers'
on
vehicles.
customers' vehicles.
Just light, because I got a big place in Peru, which if I do towing out of there, there will be no wrecks or nothing there. They would all go to my impound lot in Peru. But to tow out of the city and to tow out of the town of Plattsburgh, you gotta have an address in Plattsburgh.
Okay. Okay. Now, you did not submit any documentation showing parking or where things were going to be on the lot. For a special use permit, we need that sort of information to be able to really.
I wasn't aware of that, but the tow trucks would all be parked in the garage. There's a big commercial garage there now.
Okay. Would there be anything parked outside the building?
No, everything's, like I said, anything we tow will be going to Peru.
The customer's vehicle staying overnight, you'd have the base filled with the towing vehicles and their
No,
vehicle would be
there
in the
will be
garage.
none overnight. Mainly what it is the overflow from Peru. Like if I get a brake job and the garage in Peru is full, I would bring it up to the brake job, bring it back. So there won't be a lot of, like the vacant lot on the north side will stay vacant. There won't be cars, there won't be trucks and nothing parked there.
Oh, that lot north of that is part of this?
Well, I own that too, but I'm not gonna fill it with cars and trucks, and it will stay clean just like it is right now.
Okay. I was wondering who owned that. But that's not on the same lot as this?
No, they're two separate lots.
2 separate lots. Okay. All right. Did you want to weigh in, Kyle, based on his answer about customers' cars?
No, I did speak with Joe, and it's another non-conforming use, so it's gonna be a special use permit.
Okay. Okay. Our zoning allows us to change non-conforming uses with the use of a special use permit, but it does have to meet requirements that we review it against. And I'll just reiterate them just so everyone knows. The upon satisfaction of each instance of such conditions as to the general character, height, and use of the structure or structures, as to the provision of surrounding open space and the treatment of grounds, as to the general fitness of the structure or use to the proposed location, as to the provision for automobile parking or storage, and as to street capacity and use as, in the opinion of the board, may be necessary to safeguard public health, convenience, and as may be required for the preservation of the general character of the neighborhood in which such building and or structure is to be placed or such use is to be conducted. Specifically, the standards established by the chapter shall be applied as they may be applicable to a specific request for a special use permit. To assist the zoning board of appeals in its determination, an application for a special use permit shall be accompanied by plans and other descriptive matter sufficient to clearly portray the intentions of the applicant, and such plans or other descriptive matter shall become part of the record. And that last part is what we really don't have here as to where, although you're saying everything's going to be inside the garage.
Yeah, the tow trucks would be inside. The only thing to be outside would be my personal truck, which I drive there and drive home.
Of course, if you have, but you will have customers dropping their vehicles there.
No, they'll be dropping them in Peru. I'm not gonna have cars there because it's not fenced in and it's not, I don't have cameras and all that, so, and I got all that in Peru.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Towing, 24 hours?
But I don't have extremely loud trucks. They're all fairly new. They all got exhaust systems on them and they're pretty quiet.
And when you say you're gonna be dispatching the trucks out of here, so your tow drivers
What's
would,
that?
your drivers would come to the house if they got dispatched, grab the vehicle in the middle of the night,
Well,
go
that
tow
would-
the vehicle.
That would be me. I'd be running the ones in Plattsburgh
That's it.
and my brother would be running the ones in Peru.
Do your trucks have backup horns?
Nope,
When you
no,
go-
they're small enough. They're not required to have them. And the ones that do have them, I got a toggle switch on them where I can shut them off.
Most vehicle inspections here, is that something that consumers would be driving up to have their cars inspected?
But that ain't a necessity. That's just, if I can find, if I can't, that's fine too. Because we do perform them in Peru.
Any other questions before I open it up to the audience? Okay, I will open up the public hearing portion of this appeal. Anyone want to speak? Okay,
I saw our letter up there. I'm Darcy Smith, and this is Nathan Connors.
okay,
And that picture up there, that's our house, right there. And not pull up the letter. We do have an 8-year-old daughter, and we're concerned about noise. And, you know, having an automotive repair shop there, it would be noisy, you know, regardless of, you know, there's light work or a lot of work. And, you know, our street would no longer be safe. And we like to go out for our walks, for our bicycle rides, and it wouldn't be safe for our 8-year-old to do that anymore. You know, our road already isn't in good condition, there's potholes, and having a bunch of cars going back and forth wouldn't be ideal, because we have a pothole right in front of our house. You know, it'll only make it worse. you know, there should be at least a hazard sign saying children at play, so that way people slow down. You know, we have a fence, I should have taken a picture. In our backyard, we can look directly into that lot, and it's kind of an eyesore, you know, if we see cars going in and out, in and out. I'm just mainly concerned about the noise, but she does go to bed at 8:30. And if it's 24/7 dispatch, it would be bothersome. She's a light sleeper. Nobody likes when their child is tired and cranky in the morning. So. That's one thing I didn't touch upon. Being taxpayers, our property value will be lowered along with everybody else on our street.
How long have you lived there?
We've lived there about 5 months now.
So you weren't there when the previous non-conforming use was occurring?
Bought the house, they paid, this is a quiet street, it's a nice place for a family to live. And it's very disappointing to us to hear that there's going to be a car repair shop right next to us.
Thank you. Kelly?
So. That's it.
Yep.
I want to first say this is not personal, and that, my opinion is based on living in that neighborhood for 27 and a half years. When we first, this is my ex-husband, when we first bought the property back in 95, we were similar to Darcy, that we thought it was a really nice family, neighborhood and a good place to raise kids, and we struggled with Rushford's trucking company from day one. It created a tremendous amount of dust in our house constantly. Trucks going in and out constantly. Big trucks, little trucks, people coming to service them, and it was just really problematic from day one. And we knew that there were a couple of different lawsuits going on when we came into the property. And based on the outcome of those lawsuits, we knew that there was really nothing to battle. They were there before us, and there was really nothing we could do. But we've been biding our time for that business to close because it has detracted from our neighborhood significantly for decades. And as a previous business owner, I absolutely appreciate the value of owning your own business. I think it's awesome, but that's just not the place to do it. That house is the only house in that neighborhood along all of Waterhouse Street that is a business. One of the board members asked a question about the oil changes, and you said that customers.
Not doing all changes.
So if you're going to do anything other than the towing, it will require customers to bring their cars there. Bottom line, it just
Right.
will.
We're just using it for an overflow, like, we do hundreds of state police cars. And-
Right.
And occasionally, in Peru, we run out of room.
Right.
My 11-bay garage is full.
And I appreciate that,
And
and
I
I'm
would-
sorry to
It would be
pose this.
mainly just me or my brother driving the car up there, doing a great job, driving it away. It ain't like I'm gonna have 15 cars in the parking lot at one time. It's not gonna happen. That ain't me.
I don't know if it is or isn't. All I know is that that's a residential neighborhood. And what you're proposing is even more extreme than what Rushford's had, because they had their trucks leaving in the morning and coming back in the afternoon. And they had, a couple of smaller trucks, and they were done business at like 4 in the afternoon, and that was it. Then it was just them and the family. You're talking about something that's gonna be going on 24/7. Trucks, whether they're brand new or 50 years old, they make noise. And I don't have small children anymore, but I do live right there on the corner, and you certainly have to go by their house, you have to go by my house or his house. We're all gonna be affected by this 24/7. It's just, in my opinion, this is not the place to have a business anymore, and we've dealt with this for so many years that I'm prepared to take extra steps to make sure that another business doesn't go in there. I feel very strongly about this, and I need you to know that it's not you, it's just your idea of the business. I think that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yep.
I own the property at 15 Riverside and right across from you. And once again, it's nothing personal, Mr. Rock. It's just that coming in and out of there, I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but if you turn out, isn't it North Street onto Riverside? It's barely room for one vehicle. And if there's going to be people coming and going all the time, it will be a real strain on the area. Getting down LeBlanc Lane is like going up a cow path. I mean, the street itself is in abysmal shape. To put a business there, Mr. Rushford was there 50 years ago. I don't know when this got zoned. It's just that I agree with you, it's time to change what's there. Because it's just, it's not a safe place, it's a dead end street. People are gonna be, if they're looking for you, you know, that kind of thing, they're gonna end up in people's yards. I'm concerned about putting in a business. When I got the card, it says here that you're gonna be doing vehicle inspections, and they told me light repairs, and I don't know what exactly that means, but if people are gonna be coming into the area to get their work done, it's gonna put a stress on the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think he answered most of my questions. I own property in Riverside as well. And it is a unique opportunity to correct the circumstances that existed for decades. I can understand all these folks' comments. One thing is, that if it is approved, I think some strong language should be put into it along the effects of what he was saying to give the building inspector some the ability to police it, because otherwise, if it's granted, and you try to correct the problem afterwards.
That is exactly what happened with Rushfords. They were allowed certain things, and over time, they just took a little more and a little more and a little more, and it just became really problematic. And unless you're there, I mean, it took me nearly 8 years to get the church in front of me to put blocks so that people weren't driving their cars over the grass to get from South Catherine to Waterhouse Street. 8 years it took me to get the city to put these cement blocks up because people were literally almost out of control in my yard, almost to its level. I don't want another 8 years of stress and having to deal with the city to say this is not what was supposed to be there. This isn't, it's not. I absolutely appreciate the words that you just used, that this is an opportunity to correct something that should never have been permitted in the first place.
Okay. Any other comments from the audience? All right.
It doesn't apply only to 10, correct? No application that applies to Riverside. You suggest.
Correct. It applies to
10.
the specific parcel identification 221.11-1-26, which I'm assuming is 10 Riverside Ave. Yes. The other one's a separate lot, so that would have to be a separate request if anything was done there.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, I'll close the public comment period. We do have a seeker.
This one says it's full environmental.
Yes. Kyle, does he need permits to run inspections from the city? No, or break jobs or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Be a certified automobile repair shop at Sioux State.
Okay. Okay. Hours of operation. In JKL. 24/7, all days. Is what he's asking for. It's good unless somebody's got any other comments on it.
On M, you answered, will the proposed action produce noise that will exceed existing ambient noise levels during construction operation? Or both of you answered no. I don't see how that's possible with a tow truck.
Which one is that?
Under L, under hours of operation. So if you're running machinery, you're doing a brake job, you've got your ratchets going, that's not going to produce more than the ambient river noise, you mean?
I wouldn't think so if it's inside. If you're doing a brake job, you're gonna be doing it inside. It's not like you're pounding on a dump truck. You're taking springs off and putting brakes on.
I just haven't heard too many ratchet impact drivers, rather, right? Pneumatic impact drivers that I can't hear through any garage they put in.
Yeah, but if they're inside, or it's not like we're gonna be doing it outside 10 o'clock at night. What we do in the garage would be from 9 o'clock till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. If we even, that's if we got overflow from Pearl.
So change that one to yes and give a time frame.
It's just tough because you're asking for 24/7 use of the property. So now how do we put limits in place with that, even if there's not clear kind of delineation between when the wrench is going to go and when it's not?
What's that?
I just don't understand how you can have 24/7. If we give it 24/7 use and then you get to use as an auto repair, that means you can turn a wrench 24/7. And kind of like they were saying, historically, how do we police that? How does that get taken care of if you go outside of the parameters of?
Right, we got a 24/7 in Peru too. We run it from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. After that, there's nothing.
Right.
Been that way for 28 years.
So your issue with the sound is tools and what have you, and obviously that'd be more of an issue during the summer than during the winter, because they would have doors closed during the winter.
Correct. And even with the doors closed, it's asking, will there be an impact on ambient noise? And I've never heard an impact driver. I've never not heard an impact driver behind a closed door. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, walk by G&G.
Right. Doors open or closed, it doesn't matter. You can hear the impact drivers going.
But that's what was going on when Rushfords were there, because that was their shop.
Correct.
Not saying right or wrong, just stating a fact.
Correct.
Well, let's change M to yes. sources being tools. And according to the applicant, it would be 9 to 5.
I'm sorry, one other question
Yep.
on, will the proposed action involve or require the management or disposal? When they say solid waste, they're referring to, wouldn't brake fluid count as that, or like under hazardous material or no?
That's a liquid waste.
Okay. That's not being asked, okay, I'm sorry. Excluding hazardous material, I'm sorry.
And actually, that does bring up a question. Dumpsters,
What's that?
dumpsters,
No, I take all the trash, I bring it to, I got a big compactor in Peru, and that's where that's why I've been bringing it now. Because we've done a substantial amount of cleaning over there.
Okay, so that's the part then. Will the proposed action at the site involve the commercial generation, treatment, storage, or disposal of hazardous waste? And brake fluid, none of that's considered oil. That's not considered hazardous waste.
yes, it is.
So he answered no. But can you do a brake job without, doesn't the brake fluid have to get replaced?
You can, yes.
Yes,
So wouldn't that be yes?
yes.
Okay, so you answered no.
That is which one?
Yeah, you don't have to drink brake fluid to brake job.
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no.
I mean, how much fluid do you figure you're gonna use, say, in a month
On a
At
brake
that-
job,
at that facility?
doing a brake job, probably 2 gallons a month, maybe. If that,
And they're asking to be handled tons per month. So I guess, yeah, technically, yes, but minimal in the big picture. And if he runs a garage now, I'm assuming he has facilities to dispose of it. Anything else?
No,
Okay. I mean, good points, I'm not. So then, I'll entertain a motion in regards to the seeker. Or not.
I can make a motion to approve for appeal 2312, the full environmental assessment form. With little or no environmental impact.
Second,
Second.
one of them seconded. Take your pick. All in
It was
favor?
the Same time.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Now comes the fun part. The actual special use permit. There was that letter from the audience that is part of the record, as well as all the comments and everything. And there were no comments from the city departments, but the county did indicate that we should review. I'm assuming everyone got a copy of the county comments. Designated parking spaces, where it proposed that cars for sale would be located, where junk vehicles and parks of vehicle fluids will be handled and disposed of, where the sign or signs will be located. Is there going to be any signage other than the New York State repair shop sign?
No,
Okay. Outdoor lighting, anything? gonna
no,
change
just
there?
what I got there on a switch.
Okay. Dumpster location, trash location, no. And you don't need any permits from DEC or DMV. Well, DMV you do for the repair facility. correct?
Yep,
Okay. And you're not changing any of the entrances, any of
What's
the, you aren't changing any of the property itself?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then, taking that into account and what we have for information in front of us. Did we want more information? Or want to limit it verbally?
To be clear, the only reason why you're doing this, I'm sorry, go ahead,
That's right.
is so you can have an address in the city so you can do tows.
yeah,
So
Pretty
really, the
much.
only reason you need is for to be able to park your vehicles in the garage.
and there's not gonna be no wrecked cars outside, they'll all be in my impound lot per,
And to have that address uses that, it also has to be a registered repair shop.
yep. Yeah, I gotta be able to have a registered repair shop to add tow trucks to the towing list.
Can I add to my comment? Are we allowed to do that? Can I get permission to add to my comment?
Close the public comment period.
I'll raise it.
Okay, sorry.
Sure, the question too.
No, my only other question was the fact that, where we had talked about in the application, a little bit of a lack of a plan to describe exactly what would be done besides towing. I know we've talked about it vaguely, but if the intent is really to do nothing but a few brake jobs or, I feel like we should have some.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm sitting there doing nothing, I can do a brake job. I mean, it ain't gonna be ran every day.
Mhm.
And there's gonna be a considerable amount of less noise than what there was when Rushford was there.
There wouldn't be other consumer functions, oil changes to go along. with
Oh, no,
inspections.
all that's done in Peru, because I got a water separator and everything in Peru. So we do all that down there.
Mhm.
And I got a couple 3-year-old kids moving into the house. So I don't believe I'm gonna make a lot of noise.
Who is going to be living in the house?
What's that?
Are you going to rent the house?
Yeah, I rented it to a friend of mine and he's got 2 twin girls. So there's not gonna be a considerable amount of noise.
Okay. So basically what he's saying is he wants it for a total. So it's not like we can say just 9 to 5, that wouldn't meet his needs. I mean, we could say that, but. But we could specify 9 to 5 on any vehicle work. We can limit it however we see fit, as well as limit parking on premises to personally owned vehicles only, otherwise it's inside.
And we're saying there'll be no consumer traffic. whatsoever.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be, other than, like I say, myself bringing them there.
We can also take him on his word and specify it in it about backup alarms, which would give neighbors the right to complain if that was violated. I would say if we did that, we should limit the hours for it. You know, 'cause they could have somebody just come in and have a backup alarm and, you know, they'll be calling me at noon because the backup alarm goes off, so to speak. That would be my opinion.
When you originally started, you said too that you don't have to do inspections there. That was just kind of thrown in there, like the brake jobs and the inspections are a necessity for you to accomplish what you're trying to at the property.
Yeah, I mean, the inspection part,
Whatever.
that I can deal with it, I deal without it, because I do them in Borough.
But the brake portion is important.
Yeah, just if we get overflow and, you know, like the state police, and they like their cars right back as fast as we can get them. I could bring it up, do a great job and bring it back. We don't get into any major motor work anyway. We don't pull motors and transmissions.
Yeah, the problem is though, is again with doing they're setting a precedent on the property as well, right? If it's not limited, then even after he sells the property, that could continue if we're not careful with our language. Is that correct?
Correct. But, well, do they have to reapply if they sell? No. Okay. But any conditions would carry over. See, we're wrestling with this. A motion can be a negative motion if you want. But it's always better if we have a positive motion. Kind of a point of no return. Did you want to postpone for a full member, 5-member board? You'll need 3 out of the 4 of us for a positive. And if it is rejected, you can't come back for 6 months? A year. Year.
We can postpone, I guess.
I mean, it's up to you. We'll postpone on our behalf if you want. Because we do not have a full 5-member board. I'm not saying that it will be any different, but it could be different from next month. I don't know.
Yeah, we can postpone. I get if that's the best thing to do.
It's up to you.
It's certainly not a
But-
recommendation. It's just throwing out there that it's an option if you're not feeling comfortable with it.
Or we can move on. You can move on.
Okay, all right. Somebody want to make a motion? Be creative.
All right,
And once you make it, we can modify if people want to add or
okay,
subtract or whatever. Or clarify.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal number 2312 for applicant James Rock to grant special use permit request to operate a vehicle inspection, tow truck dispatch, and light vehicle repair business in an R1 zone district with the provisions of no consumer generated traffic, 9 AM to 5 PM, operation for automotive repair work limited to brake work. In addition, outside of those hours, no backup alarms will be used on property.
I got nothing to add to that.
He did say no consumer traffic from 9 AM to 5 PM. And I think he meant from 5 PM to 9 AM.
No consumer traffic.
There was
period.
his own thing, no consumer traffic, period.
I guess what I'd like to add is that commercial vehicles always be in the garage and not parked outside. Because we did not have any parking plan or anything like that. And the statement was it was inside.
Is it too extreme to say that no automotive work to be completed outside of the garage or with the garage doors open?
We can make that motion. I mean, we can put it in if we feel.
Want to repeat that one more time?
All right, so the way I have it now is I will make a motion to approve appeal number 2312 for applicant James Rock for a special use permit request to operate a vehicle inspection, tow truck dispatch, and light vehicle repair business in the R1 zone district with the provisions that there will be no consumer traffic, that only during the hours of 9 AM to 5 PM for automotive repair work limited to brake work. During those same hours of 9 to 5, no backup alarm, only during the hours of 9 to 5. Would backup alarms be used, not outside of that. Commercial vehicles always to be parked in the garage and not outside.
Second.
I'm sorry. Work to be completed. Can we add that on there? Inside of the garage at all times with the doors closed?
We can.
Yes. Is that okay before we?
Mhm.
Finalize that in a second?
Okay. So a yes vote is to approve the special use permit as restrained by the motion. Okay, you got 3 yes votes and 1 no vote. So you are good. Okay,
Okay,
I won't poll the group because I think we all struggled with it. And one person struggled one way, 3 struggled the other way. So thank you for participating in the process, and you're good.
okay, thank you.
With those restrictions, and the neighbors will let the building inspector know if
Yeah.
you're outside of it.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well,
We have minutes.
Yeah.
So hard, eh? Oh, yeah, we gotta do the minutes.
Yeah.
Here they are.
We got excited.
I know.
Okay, we'll just talk over the audience. We have minutes
Yeah.
to approve March 21st. Meeting minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the March 21st meeting minutes. Is that okay?
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any other business?
Fran?
Motion to adjourn?
Like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.